In this video, we're going to show you to install the oil pressure switch on your Hummer H3 located just above the oil filter. With the vehicle lifted and supported, we want to go ahead and remove this plate right here. There's going to be 4 mounting points. There's normally a bolt here and one right here. Ours is missing. We're going to come on back to the rear, and there's 2 on the back here. These are 13 millimeter. Now we're just going to loosen these here. Now the plate itself, you can slide out. So you're going to take the whole panel and slide it backward. Drop that down and out. Let's go ahead and remove the front shield here. It's going to be 2 13 millimeter bolts. Slide that back and out. So to access your oil pressure switch, you're going to be reaching up through the passenger side wheel well. There's a little splash shield on the side right behind the front tire. So crank out that right front tire and you're going to reach up and you're going to locate that switch. It's right up here, and here's the harness that goes to it. If you're going through the front, which you can't really get your hand up to it, it's just above the oil filter. You're going to reach up in here. Now there's a green connector on it. There's a little spring tab on the bottom. You're going to gently pry that down and then grab that connector and wiggle that off. And there it is. Pull that off like so. Set that aside. In order to do this job, it's best to have the specific oil pressure socket for the switch. You need the socket because of the depth of it. You can't use a standard socket for it. Now we're repositioning to up inside the engine bay, and we're going to reach down on the passenger side of the engine, and we're going to use a 25 millimeter wrench. Now you may or may not be using this size of wrench depending on what tool you are using to remove this. But due to clearance issues, you can't really get to it too well through the wheel well with a ratchet. And there it is, I just broke that free. It's not in there very, very tight. Now you might lose a little bit of oil from this here. If you want to, you can put a catch can or something underneath or a bucket, but it's not gonna be a lot. There we go. We got the unit out, we're gonna pull it up through the top. Before installing the new sensor, I'm going to take a little bit of fresh engine oil and I'm just going to put it on that O-ring seal. All right, let's go ahead and thread this in. Now I'm reaching down in front of the power steering pump and I can reach my arm around and get that sensor lined up. And then get that started. I'm going to go ahead and put my socket on there with the wrench, and I'm going to snug that down. Continue to do this until this snugs down. Now at this point here, you want to gently snug this down. Now there is a torque spec for this. You want to torque this to 15 foot-pounds if you have the availability to do so. I'm just going to gently snug that. That's it. I'm going to remove my wrench. I'm going to remove that socket. Now you can try and install your connector here. It might be easier to do it from the wheel well area. Push it on, you're going to feel it and hear it snap into place. I am going to go back underneath the vehicle and spray that down with some spray solvent to wipe off any of that residual oil that we lost. Now you can perform this job without having to remove your shields. However, you are going to end up with some residual oil on the under shield, and then you're going to end up with a leak dribbling all over your driveway when you're done. So it's best just to remove the shields, clean up that residual oil, and when you're done, just install the shields. You can place your front shield up. Slide the shield up. Go ahead and tighten down all of your hardware. Now that we've installed our oil pressure switch, you want to go ahead and check your oil level. If it is down a tiny bit, go ahead and top it off. If not, you're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.